8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and didn't get it.
God damn it. I was really hoping.
From a higher number. Maybe that's the problem.
I don't really want to sit here while you count down.
Yeah, I think the counting down is done, but yeah.
I believe you. I can't see you, Taylor.
So you went to E3, Tucker.
I did. I'm going to stop eating these
What
pretzels.
were some of your highlights out of E3? There was the controller. There was Fallout.
Right. So you said that you guys talked about the controller.
You know. You know what was cool about the controller to me? I felt like finally they had solved all of Ask a Capper's complaints, and he's like good now, right? Because like all he's ever been about is like, hey, I can't play fucking games. I play with my mouth and like 2 working fingers. Cut me some slack here. And like he always went about it the wrong way. It seems like he wanted developers to like put the mappability within their game, but here's a fucking controller that just solves all his problems. I feel like he's got nothing to complain about anymore. He should be loving it.
I felt that way for a while. Like it seemed like to me he enjoyed complaining about it. Like he picked the unwinnable fight, which is every game developer should have remapping stuff for like the 1% that needs it. And of course, this benefits from more than that. The big thing I used to remember is I couldn't go from COD to Halo and back very easily.
Right.
In particular, I think the reload button and like throw the grenade buttons were like the same. And that was always a challenge for me. But instead of having it in the game, if you have it in the hardware, then suddenly every game has it. Yeah. And some people came out with it. I know Scufs has had remappable buttons for a while now. And he didn't say mission accomplished. It was like, no, let me continue fussing at developers.
Well, I think he's probably happier that now there's a solution than to keep complaining about it. Because, I mean, I haven't talked to him in years, but it seemed last time we had him on, he just really wanted to play games without having to, like... Because watching him play was really... Like, he had to, like, have it balanced on his palms or something and then, like, move...
He looked like a hungry chipmunk eating a controller.
Yeah, he had to keep moving his... Like, I couldn't move my eyes like this that much and still keep focused on what I was doing on the screen, you know?
It's like he's playing piano while on acid and focusing on the screen. Or not piano, but harmonica.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, he's definitely playing on hard mode.
I think that the difference with Scufs, so Scufs, basically the remaps are just the paddles. So you can have 2 to 4 buttons that are remapped there. And it's not like you're remapping anything there. You're simply assigning the same button to those 2 buttons behind. So it's not like you're changing the A button to be something other than A. It's that you're assigning the A button to one of the 4 paddles, which is great. And for most people, that accomplishes what you needed to do for like the competitive thing. You needed to like maybe sprint was now a click instead of you moving your thumbstick in, or jump is different, so you don't have to move your thumb off of the aiming thing.
Just in a few seconds, I broke my hand. Yet I was like a pro YouTuber at the time. So Scufs made me a controller where the paddle on the back was sprint, and I no longer needed to like use my broken hand to lean on that damn sprint thing. Like it was,
which is great, right?
Yeah.
I actually did that remap because of my thumb would get sore after playing hours and hours of sprint, because that's all you'd hit.
These should be by the definition of first world problems.
Probably.
Like, those examples should be like under the definition when they have those like italics examples. My thumb would hurt from sprinting so much in Call of Duty.
So I bought a $150 controller so I wouldn't have to deal with it. Yeah. But I will say that alright, so I did get hands-on with that MLG controller, and I thought that it was way better than build quality, comfortable, just being able to be comfortable with the fact that, it is what it is, having the placement of the sticks and everything. I will say that while I love Duncan, I love you, you're my bud, who runs Scufs, but it's a first-party controller. The Scufs is a modified Xbox One controller. No matter how you look at it, it is a repainted controller with a paddle on the back. But the Xbox One's elite. What's up?
The back panel, he throws away the stock one and puts on a new one.
Puts it back in. But I mean, for all intents and purposes, it's just the Xbox One controller.
This one starts with an Xbox,
right. The MLG one is built by Xbox from the ground up without modifications, so it's just everything is meant to work in with the remappable paddle. So it's not just the 3 most impressive things were it was really easy to just take off the paddles and shit. They were magnetic, so you literally went pop, 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 pop. They're all off, and you could just put them back on. But at no point did I feel like they were going to fall off. So that pretty much amazed me. But there were 250 remappable profiles per controller, all stored on the controller. So you could have Forza, Halo, every game you ever wanted with multiple different like remapped scenarios for it. And then on top of that, every button and thumbstick and everything was reprogrammable. So you could have, by flipping a switch, you could have like hair triggers. So you would only have to pull like a fraction of the inch. Or you could also have hair triggers on the default pull, but like the pull distance was actuated so you would only have to pull it like the same amount as a hair trigger, but you could pull it all the way in if you wanted to. Like there was just, you could change the individual thumbstick sensitivities. Like, they basically, like it's first party shit. So they're able to be like, everything our controller does, like you can now fuck with it, like whatever you want to do. So, I mean, while Scuf was limited based on like what they could do with the hardware, the Xbox controller is just like whatever you want to do, like you can do it now because it's first party stuff. So, I mean, I think that they did a really good job with it. But it's not going to kill Scuf. Scuf's still awesome, and they still have the pro brands and like all that shit. And the Xbox controller's still priced at the same price point at $150. So
until next year.
Until next year, yeah. You think it's going to go down to like 100? I thought they would announce it at 100. That would be crazy.
Depends on the sales. It really depends on the sales. I think. I would imagine. I'll say that.
I want to say if you really deck out a Scuf, it's more than 150. Also.
It's way. I mean, it's like 200 and some. When you
Yeah,
get
I think
custom
you can get-
colors and LEDs.
I think they do a 225 one.
Do they?
I don't know. I haven't looked at their pricing recently, but I think it used to be you could get 250 or
Okay.
higher.
Yeah, that's like a serious thing.
Controller.
Oh.
What's that?
I don't know what Scuf is. Is that just a controller company? Like a
So what
custom-
Scuf,
Scuf
right.
would do is they take a Microsoft controller and they take the back panel out and the electronics out, and then now they put a new back panel on, which is important. The reason that's important is they used to just put paddles on the stock back. They didn't mount quite right or quite as durably. Now that they have their own back panel, it's grippier,
I don't know
it
what it
handles sweat better, and the paddles on the back, yeah, you can see how
You can
grippy
see
it
it's like a Remington, like you know how the Remington has that like raised grip, like almost rubberized paint or whatever. It's got that Remington grip. I don't have the back panel, but basically there's two paddles on here. And then for comparison, here's the Razor version, which has these two like rocker triggers that you basically put your thumb in or your finger in there. I preferred this and I used this, but they also
Did you?
have. Yeah, they also had an LED panel so you could adjust the thumbstick sensitivities. I thought this, and this one only cost $69. I thought this was the superior controller to anything that anybody's ever released. I still think it's a better deal. It feels like you can program everything like the Xbox One controller. It's just build quality is way shittier than the, than the Scuf or anything like that.
So is the Scuf just like a redone Xbox controller?
It is, yeah. So they put a new back panel and they put the paddles on the back. Now the thing is, when you have a controller, you're really just using your thumbs to play the game, right? That's it. Some people do a claw, but that'll wear your hands out and give you arthritis. So you just use your thumbs, and then, like for example, to reload, you have to take your finger off the aim, right? If you want to jump, I'm trying to get my. I do it without thinking, but I think if you want to jump, you take it off and whatever.
Yeah.
Why?
So that would be like A.
Switch.
So like if you're aiming with this and this is jump, in order to get jump, you can't aim now. So instead of moving this, you basically remap jump to be a paddle. So you would be able to jump while still aiming. So it would you wouldn't have to ever remove your thumbstick from the.
Mine has 4 paddles in the back. It's called the Animal. And and now because I wish I had one in my hand, but you can hold it and you've got all these fingers in the back that are going unused in your gaming experience. Well, they don't have to be. Now you can jump and aim at the same time. Maybe you find it difficult to aim and like do the tactical push down thing at the same time. Well, you can put that on the back, and it just allows you to do more at one time. Because
Do they do PlayStation controllers or just
They do.
Xbox?
Yes, they do.
yeah, they do PlayStation controllers.
Which is what's hilarious is that Scuf's main demographic is, I would argue, 90% of their sales come from Call of Duty, like mostly Call of Duty players. So then Xbox announces their Elite controller, and Call of Duty switches to PlayStation. So Scuf is relatively unaffected considering they just sell PlayStation controllers anyways. For